Well, maybe, just maybe it's working. No promises. Trying something new. So using my Canon DSLR as a webcam, first time I've ever got that to work. So we're doing that instead of the GoPro, but I'm still using the GoPro as a mic. So right here is a GoPro pointed at me just for the microphone. So yeah, giant shit. Yeah. And then when I turned everything on, it all set up yesterday. And worked fine. Turned everything off, went about my business, showed back up here with not a lot of time to spare because, well, you know, it was already set up. And I had to, nothing would work. Well, the Canon wouldn't work. I finally had to unplug it and plug it back in before it would work. All right. So, Will, hello. Lots of Wills. Colt, Adam, good to see everybody. Today's live chat is brought to you by Gray Ghost Gear. We have a giveaway from Gray Ghost Gear that we're going to do in a week. So we'll see how that goes. I'll give you the details of it all. Actually, since it's in the beginning, if anyone watches this later and they might not watch the whole thing, they'll at least get this part. So let's talk about the giveaway. The giveaway will be a Gray Ghost Gear Griff Pack. And it is going to be given to somebody. The prerequisites to be on the list to have the giveaway is to be subscribed to the mailing list. If you're subscribed to the mailing list, you are entered for the giveaway. And if you're like, well, gee, dude, where do I find the mailing list? It's at the bottom of every fucking page of the website. If you go to the bottom, it says inbox me or something like that. And that's, if you put your email in there, you are on the mailing list. And if you're on the mailing list, you're entered to win the Griff Pack, which I'm going to give out on my birthday. So instead of getting a birthday gift, I am giving a birthday gift. The Griff Pack is this one right here. It even comes with this gray bordered patch. There was only 100 of those made, and this is the only gray one that I have left. Come out of my personal stash of patches. I'll probably throw some more patches on the Velcro inside. So sometime between now and the 23rd of February, I have to do a video on the Griff Pack. And then I can give it away. Now, if you'd like extra entries, don't worry. There is a way where you can be entered to win more. Everybody that has signed up for a class with Tremis Dynamics between now and I don't care when the class is, but if everyone that has signed up for something in 2023 by my birthday gets 25 extra entries. So if you signed up online, there's a decent chance that you also are on the mailing list. So you could have 26 entries. And if you sign up for 2 classes, then you'd have like 51 entries, the mailing list and the class and all that shit. So there are extra entries to be had. Uncle Guns, hello, sir. Hopefully everything's rolling through here all right. Again, all kinds of new shit happening. My favorite moderator is in the house. Looks like everybody is watching on the YouTubes and not on the Facebooks. Which makes sense because YouTube actually is good at processing video and Facebook is not. But aside from the Gray Ghost thing, the new shit that is happening here is, like I said, we're using the Canon over there. And currently, just for today, the GoPro is, I'm just using the mic on it because my microphone doesn't attach to my fucking computer. It's got a like 1/8-inch plug and my computer doesn't have an 1/8-inch microphone input, only an 1/8-inch headphone out. But I got this guy. It literally showed up at Amazon before I walked up here. It is a microphone hole to a USB-A. So next week I'll be back to a better microphone. And we got new lights. The box lights are gone. Panel lights are up. For those that have ever set foot in the studio here, it's way different looking. And I don't know if the lighting actually turned out any better than previous live streams, but it certainly was easier for me to get set up. John is here. So we got that. That was on my list, on my post Valentine's Day chat. It's brought to you by Gregos Gear. Cool things that showed up today, other than my little doober so I can run my microphone. The Everyday Carry Tourniquet from Snake Staff Systems and the Everyday Carry Tourniquet Wide. I got one of each to test and play around with, so there'll be a video or something like that coming. I literally took them out of the clear package, and this is as far as I got. I also have another one of the skinnier ones. If I play around with these and they work and they seem to function well, I'll carry that other little one around with me. So that one isn't even open yet. But I've been talking about these for quite some time. I think Jonathan Aldridge and I were on here talking about looking forward to getting one of these. Finally, I think he got some too in the same order I did. So they look like they're going to be pretty slick. I mean, that's about the size of, it's smaller than a macro magazine, maybe like an XL magazine. And this is like the size of a G26 mag, maybe. So I got high hopes for them. And if they run well, you all know, because I'll make a fucking video. RJ, hello. Jason Hedrick, hello. Javier, hello. So let me see. I'm reading some comments. So unfortunately, now that my camera's like fucking 5 feet that way, I can't mount my little monitor to right below the camera, so it looks like I'm looking at the camera when I'm reading comments, because the monitor's this big, and if it was 5 feet away, I wouldn't fucking see anything anyway. So I do have it mounted here on the table, right above my laptop, but I just have my notes on it, and the comments I'm still reading like down in the comment box on my laptop, which used to sit over under the side. So haven't decided if I like how that works yet, but we'll figure it out. All right. So now let me check some comments here and all that good garbage. See, I can open this window up and it will make the comments bigger, I believe. We'll playing with the layout here a little bit. And yes, this will be just fine. I have played with the layout and it is looking better on my end. I know you all don't give a fuck. All right. So now that we got the gear talk out of the way, sorry, the comments are not awesome yet on this end, because I can't read Will's comment. It says that's about the blank and it's all behind my little shield, so I can't read it yet. Okay. Anyhow, moving on. We'll get this all figured out. You and I are in this together. Things on my head that I wanted to chit chat about were groups, like study groups, your training group, your mutual aid group, your preparedness group, whatever you like to call your group. Doesn't make no difference to me what you call it. But having talked to some people who have mutual aid groups, some of you are probably watching this right now, and we have our study group. I think I have found something. Now I can read Will's comment. Thanks for moving that out of the way for me, TJ. I think I can move where that logo is. Can I do? I can hide it. I wonder if I can move it somewhere else. There might be a way, but I don't know. All right. Well, I got a separate window open so I can at least read the comments just by themselves now, like they're in this giant window. However, I don't know if that helps you guys. It's still the top comments behind the logo, if that's how you're seeing it. I've actually never watched one of my live streams like on YouTube or anything, so I don't know where the fucking comments show up at. What were we talking about? Oh, preparedness groups. Now we're back on track. So with those preparedness groups, my own experiences and other people's experiences, I believe that it is probably easier to put together a group if you find people who like doing stuff in the outdoors and not find people that like to shoot. Oh, TJ says it blocks it for you guys too. You know what I will do? I will, for you guys, because I care, until I can figure it out, I'll just do that. It would be nicer if it were at the bottom, I admit. So now that I got that tucked away. So yeah, find people that want to do shit outdoors, like hiking and camping and any type of outdoor activities, and convince them to start carrying a gun is probably going to be easier for you than finding people that like to shoot and convincing them to leave their house. Scott Wexler, hello, sir. I have run into a lot of folks that are interested in the idea of a group as long as it only ever encompasses going to the range and shooting. And they're like, yeah, because like, you know, we can do all the stuff. We'll be great when the world collapses because we've shoot and moved and communicated and did like, you know, the smallest element of like small unit tactics, maybe up to like a fire team, but only the reacting to contact part. And they're like, yeah, we got this. And I'm like, all right, well, are you going to be able to even get to the gunfight? And they're like, yeah, it'll come to me. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm just going to stay at my house, and that's where my gunfight will be. And I'm like, okay, it could be, which means you've made a bunch of mistakes before that. But regardless, getting them to go outside and do things is much more difficult, I believe, than getting a guy who likes to spend his time with a backpack on his back, getting him to buy a rifle. And shooting is pretty simple. So you could get a guy who likes to be outdoors and get him to buy a rifle and make him as good as the gun guy in a week or less. And then what do you got? You have an asset, whilst the guys who try to get the gun guys to go outside and do things still have a bunch of people like just at home not doing anything. So that's my thought on today. You all are free to riff off of that if you like, but I get a couple of folks that aren't a fan of the gun guys. The dude with 7 rifles, and he has never once purchased a new rifle because he shot the old one out. Like, oh, it's, you know, like 7 MOA, or I'm getting 6-inch groups at 10 yards. I think the barrel shot. Yes, that dude should either replace the barrel or buy another gun or something like that. But they don't. They just do it because. Scott, that is a fine question. I will certainly be at that brewery at some point in Indy, but I gotta get a hold of Mark. Someone remind me to to get a hold of Mark Thompson and talk to him about having a shindig. A doctor who likes to be in the woods. CRJ, I read that as Doctor Who, like the dude in the telephone booth. Isn't it a telephone booth or whatever they call it in like England? So I read that wrong. But yes, a doctor that likes to hang out in the woods. That's all I need. I'll get that motherfucker to be a shooter in a couple of days. Scott, thanks for reminding me to talk to Mark and ask about the brewery. Good thing you said something. And Crystal, thank you for doing that calendar reminder. That's actually what I need. So let me see my notes here. Remember I said that thing is small, the little monitor. Outdoor groups versus gun groups. Which reminded me, there are some groups that put like hero shots of them doing study group stuff on the Instagrams and whatnot. And over on my Patreon page, I'm going to start sharing those and like people you should be following along. Just trying to throw something out to the patrons, although probably a lot of you guys already follow those people. People texting me like they don't know I have a live stream. Some of them I think are even watching the live stream. Oh, look at that. Definitive Training Solutions is here. We're going to have Zach on as a guest at some point. And had I thought about this ahead of time, we would have coordinated that this evening. So Zach and I were scheduled to be in Del Rio at the same time, but we fixed all that. And Zach will be there the weekend before I am there in October in the fall. But I'm doing a really cool thing for Zach's students. If they go to Zach's Definitive Pistol in Del Rio, Texas in October, I don't know the fucking date, and but you can look it up on his website and see. And the next following weekend when I am there, any of Zach's students that took Definitive Pistol, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe his one-day pistol class is $150. And anyone that takes that, if they want to come back to Del Rio the following weekend and do 3 days of pistol with me, I will knock $150 off of the cost of Dynamic Pistol for the whole 3-day package. So you're essentially then getting Zach's class like for free. So that's what I am doing because Zach is the guy who saved the day with the double booking at Cactus Country. So I wanted to thank him by throwing a discount to his students. All right. Let's see. I need to figure out where the hell, which screen my mouse is on. Oh, okay. It goes off the wrong side of the screen because that monitor used to be over to the left, and now it's kind of off and up to the right. Either way. Now, what did Colt say? Texas has very few public lands, even fewer that you wouldn't be bringing the wrong kind of attention to yourself, so you take a rifle to them. And that's weird. I thought Texas had a ton of like BLM land. And can't you just do whatever the fuck you want on BLM land? There are training companies in Arizona that literally bulldozed berms on BLM land, dropped a Connex box there, and have a company on BLM land. And they've been running it for like 15 years. So I just kind of assumed that you can do whatever the fuck you want on BLM land. And I'm not going to name them because now I'm concerned that if you can't do whatever you want on BLM land, that it would just draw more attention to them. So I will ease off a little bit of mentioning them before I check into that. What do you require in a range when people want to host you? Room for at least 10 people on the line at one time. If we are doing 3 days, it needs to have at least a side berm and a front berm. Otherwise, it just needs to have a front berm. Although, like every range should have some side berm and a porta-john because women don't like to go pee in the woods. So a berm wide enough for 10 folks, roughly figure like 60 feet wide, will hold 10 folks. And 60 feet wide would probably hold 10. We can break it down into like 2 or 5 if need be, but I'd rather be able to put 10 on there. 30 yards would do that. 30 yards, 60, that'd be 90 feet. Sorry, I can't do fucking math today. Yes, there you go. BLM is Bureau of Land Management, and I thought Texas was covered in it. I'm obviously wrong, but I just assumed they own like 60% of every state west of the Mississippi. So I just kind of assumed that Texas fell into that too. Oh, I didn't know Zach was doing that. That if you took Definitive Pistol, you can take it again for free. So check this out. If you took Definitive Pistol already and you take it again for free in Del Rio in October, whatever date Zach wrote up there, you still get $150 off a Dynamic Pistol the following weekend. How about that? And I don't know if any of you knew this. Javier does. But if you've already taken a class from a live fire class from me and you want to take it again, if it's a 1-day class, it's $50 off. And if it's a 2-day class, it's $100 off. So if you took like Dynamic Pistol and Day 3 Pistol, which we're offering separately again, you could get $150 off. There's a coupon code for that, which I really need to be a little more, make people more aware of. So trying to be helpful. If it's not a live fire class, if it's a force on force class, man, the consumable cost just eats up so much of those classes that like I can't make that happen. Yeah, so you could take Definitive Pistol again the second time, Colt, then take Definitive Shotgun for the second time, just hang out in Del Rio for a week, and then come stay and take 3 days of Dynamic Pistol at $100 off, $150 off. You stay all 3 days for Zach's deal, and $150 off for the repeat student. Man, you get a lot of training for free in October in Del Rio. For you particularly, because you're a repeat of so many things. Just saying, it could happen. You get like 5 days of training for $300, something like that. Plus whatever Jim charges for range fees. I don't. But Jim pays that to the guy he leases that land from, so it's not even like Jim gets to keep it. Okay. So Will, here's the ticket. Check this out. So the weekend before, when Zach's in Del Rio, I'm going to be at Fort Honey Badger, Mike Fiore and I. And then we're driving to Del Rio. And Zach is going to be in Del Rio before he leaves to go to Paducah, Texas. So there's going to be like time in Del Rio where there will be 3 awesome motherfuckers in visiting. And if you were to stay in Del Rio for that week, you'd also be able to hang out with those guys. Like we're going to go over to the range and blow up some cars or something. Asterisk up in the corner, blow up cars is code word for maybe shoot stuff. I don't want anyone thinking we're blowing up cars that aren't ours, except maybe if we light Jim's car on fire. He's got the range car. Almost lit it on fire once. Vehicle stuff is awesome, Colt. I don't blame you for doing that. But I think his Paducah class is now the weekend after Del Rio because he swapped those around. So you may want to check that. So, Will, the Sunny class is a radio class. There'll be no shooty shoots. It'll be running a fucking radio. Yes, tell the wife that you'll be gone for a week. You can always bring her, but I mean, I don't know if my wife's watching this, so I don't want to talk about the joys of getting away for a week. But I mean, it could be your thing, even if it's not my thing. Honey, if you're watching this, I love you and I don't want to go away. Yes, I did, RJ. I did set the car on fire with the smoke. There's video of me like running back in while it was on fire, and there are people shooting past it, and I'm patting the flames out. It was something. Hey, Zach's gonna buy Colt some fucking brisket at Rudy's. This is where Colt's gonna say that's not even real brisket because brah 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 something or other. I know he was typing it right now, right fucking now. He was typing those words. Now he's backspacing because I called him out on it. All right, so let me check my list here. Yep. Del Rio deal. Yep. Okay, got all that. Great. Hey, look at that. There it was. The McDonald's of barbecue. I'll have you know, though, that every 6-year-old in the country thinks McDonald's is a fucking awesome treat. It just goes to show how far we've fallen when we mature, that we no longer can appreciate a quarter pounder with cheese as being the treat that it was when we were a kid, or a Happy Meal. All right. I got everything on my list. Like, I have some other stuff listed on there, but yeah. Well, Colt, I'm gonna just throw this out there that Zach has always had the palate of a 6-year-old. I'm not gonna talk about the things he puts ketchup on, but he is a big fan of like chicken nuggets and pizza and whatever hell, macaroni and cheese probably. So some of you may be aware, Zach he's getting married, and my wife and I are going out to his place for the wedding. And my wife says to me, "Are they going to have adult food at the reception, or should we stop and eat first?" She's awesome. And she's like, you better like, you break your suit out and see if it still fits, or, that kind of thing. And I was like, why? She goes, because it says that on the invitation that it's to dress formal. It's a formal event. I said, I got the Cry tuxedo. Like, what's more formal than that? Matching AOR2 top and bottom. That's pretty bougie. Colt, I don't know what you said about Whataburger, but if you said it was a very plain and boring burger, then I agree, because that's all it is. And burgers should not have ketchup on them. Tiger stripe, Adam. Tiger stripe is super sexy. I'm going to give you that. However, it is easily obtainable. Tactical distributors, at least 3 times that I know of, had big drops for tiger stripe Cry tuxedos. AOR has still not been available for sale to the lowly public, so it's a little bougier. And it works a little better. So those of you that we mentioned study groups earlier, those of you that are on the Tremis Dynamics Study Group email list, which is separate than the regular email list, because everybody that's ever been to a class probably doesn't give a fuck about what we're doing here in Central Pennsylvania for a study group next month. However, the gear list for next month's study group is rucksack, gaiters, shovel, pick, lots of water. So if you're not on the email list, you could go sign up for that too. It's over on the Legio Tremis page because it's kind of an alumni specific list. There'll be some outdoorsy shit that won't involve any shooty shit next month that'll be pretty cool. And yes, you'll need, we're not going to hit anyone with the shovel, but if you've had Sunny shovel class, you can certainly stand watch with said shovel. The rest of us will do some other shit with said shovel. I'm hoping to have a rope ladder and a grappling hook by then too. I also just ordered snowshoes in case that it's cold out, like white cold. See all the weird stuff we could be doing if you were just coming up to study groups. The plans for the Tremis Mantis group. The plans are still not complete because I have dropped the ball. That's pretty much it. I have just dropped the ball. So yes, we need to do that. And I think I wanted to do a monthly thing, and we're already like halfway through February, and I haven't got one started yet. What do you guys think about, should we do it X10 based or Laser Academy based? If we do Laser Academy, then it's got to be broken down to pistol and or rifle. And if it's pistol, is it going to be something that the laser cartridge people could do as well as the guys with a cert gun? Because if you do the laser cartridge, you got to click, rack, click, versus the cert gun of click, 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 click. So it seems like a lot of the things we could come up with would be better suited to the cert folks, because they could, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and be done. I don't know. Had to figure that out. The ATAX 9, as I call it, which I think is supposed to be IX, but that is very tiger stripe-ish, and I do think that it looks pretty okay. Actually, you know what other tiger stripe looks good? Origins, the Jocko Willick's the soft goods company, makes like gis and shit for jiu-jitsu. Well, they just started doing outdoor stuff to kind of compete with Sitka, and their proprietary camo pattern, I don't think they just didn't want to pay licensing to any of the other camo companies, is very tiger stripey, and it looks pretty cool. But I hear his gis are awesome, but I haven't seen any of the outdoorsy gear in person to want to spend a lot of big bucks on it. But the pattern looks awesome. All right. So we're talking about study group, shovels, pickaxes. Oh, and the area where we're going to do that study group hasn't been finalized yet. But one of my buddies and I went last week and scouted some areas, and some other buddies and I are going this weekend to scout a few more areas. I pre-scouted them today, so they'll be. I'm looking forward to. We haven't done a study group since November, so we're getting a little Jones in to go out with the gang and do some study group shit. Rain or shine or snow, because we're doing it like March. I got something going on March 12th, so I think we're doing it March 11th. Is when the study group is planned for. And traditionally, right around that time of the year, we seem to get snow here. So hence the reason I just bought snowshoes. And nope, I have no idea how to use snowshoes. I've never walked a moment in snowshoes. I just said, hey, what size snowshoes do you get if you're fat? And the one, I got 30-inch long ones. I think are 9 inches wide. And it's for guys between 180 and 250 pounds. And I said, okay, that's what I'm going with. And we'll see how that goes. Who knows? Oh, there we go. All right. So what you guys thinking? You got anything out there? Because if not, we can bust this thing out early. I got a trip to plan for this weekend, a hiking trip, for the scouting of the study groups and whatnot. All right. So then we'll do a quick rerun. If you are going to be in Del Rio this fall, October, there is some discounts to be had. Oh, there we go. Will order to BA barrel today. It's weird. One of the text messages that came through just a minute ago was someone asking me if I saw that BA was doing pistol barrels now. So it has been a hot topic of today. I have a brand new fucking Ballistic Advantage barrel sitting downstairs in my office, just waiting for tax stamps to come back. I guess I still need a laser and a rail, and I got to pick an optic for it. I have optics here. I just have to figure out which one I'm putting on it. That'll be all right. Looking forward to getting that gun done. All right, so now we got some things to talk about. Let me catch up here. Snowshoes. For those of us who aren't Scott and can't just frolic through snow while carrying a down teammate, I'd like to point out that everyone likes to talk about how Scott carried a downed teammate. While that on that same study group, I carried the litter all by myself. Just saying. Take it easy, TJ. But yes, snowshoes for those of us who can't just bound like a fucking gazelle through the snow. Javier has enrolled his wife for her first MS Dynamics class. She is taking a dynamic pistol in Leesburg, Florida in September. So that's cool. Hopefully some other Florida folks can jump in on that as well. I've been being asked to come to Florida a bunch often, and ta-da, it's happening. Then Uncle Gun, should I get a 365 SAS, keep the fire control unit, sell the rest, and Frankenstein it into an XL type thing? Well, why not just buy the XL? Now, the SAS has three things different. The sights, which not everyone's favorite, and the takedown lever and the slide stop. And I just found out at the Great American Outdoor Show, we sat at the SIG booth forever talking with a couple of the guys there, that you can buy the SAS takedown lever and slide stop separately. It's not on the website, but if you call customer service, they can sell you those two parts from the SAS version. Usually they don't do that. Nobody asks for them, but a lot of SAS owners go the other route and want to un-SAS the gun after they have it, unass the gun, unsass the gun, unass. Which is weird because when I was in all the 365 groups for the guys asking to do that, and I'm like, hey, I'll if you'd like to unload those SAS parts, I'd like to have them. Nobody bit on that. But the guys at SIG did say if we call customer service, we can get those parts separate. So if you want to XL with the slick side, you can make that happen for a lot less than buying an SAS and selling shit and rebuilding it, which is what I intend to do. It's a good thing you said something because I was supposed to call him this week and it's Wednesday and I haven't yet because the show ended Sunday and I figured Monday was probably a teardown day. guys back in the office maybe Tuesday, maybe today. Either way, I should give them a call tomorrow and get those parts on the way here. I have some M&Ps that have the slide locks chopped right off. And I got a good buddy who's done that to his Glocks. All my Glocks at this point get like loaned out and got UTM tops on them for students to use. So I left all those controls as they came so that they were there. Like when the student picked it up to run force on force, it was like their gun. Adam, correct. The bolt carrier, I did see that it says optimized for 16-inch barrels, but no issue whatsoever in short barrels, like none at all. And it, like they made a claim when it first came out. I don't know if it's still in the marketing. Well, there's no marketing at this point, but they said that it slowed carrier speed down. So if you were running a full auto gun, it ran closer to like the factory 600 rounds a minute that an M16 runs in a 20-inch. The shorter it gets, the faster it ends up running. So it brought I want to say like in a 16-inch gun, it slowed it by like 4%, but it was like 7% in a 10.3. So it was better on the 10.3 than it was on the 16-inch gun. The Mark 8, or yeah, so it was Mark 18, which you respect at 10.3, not 10.5. And it actually did better on those for getting them down than it did on the mid-length, mid-ish lengths, because I don't want to say mid-length like the gas system, but the ones in between the Mark 18 and the A2. So like on an M4 length, it did not do as well for bringing the bolt speed down as it did on the 10.3. And I now have 3 of those bolt carriers, and the 2 of the 3 have never given me a lick issue on anything. The other one's still in the box, so I'm going to assume it too doesn't do anything different. And if you really want to have the pinnacle inside your upper, you'll pair that with an LMT enhanced bolt. But those things are like $280 or some bullshit like that. So if you don't, I can totally understand. Like the regular LMT bolt, the not enhanced one is overpriced as well, and I have that in a rifle. I wasn't super raped on the price, but it was like cheap enough that I felt it was comparable to the price of anybody else's bolt that isn't a good deal. So I went ahead and got it. But the enhanced one is pretty fucking sweet. I just don't know if it lasts like 3 times as long as somebody else's bolt, and it costs 3 times as much. BCM makes a great bolt. I put a BCM bolt, Sons of Liberty bolt, Colt bolt. That actually sounds funny. And like I got ones with like CMT bolts and stuff in them that are fine. I had a spikes bolt that one of them ran real well, which is weird. I don't even like spikes, but Spikes doesn't make any bolts. Spikes doesn't like really make any parts. They farm all those out to companies, which is why their QC is so all over the place. I shouldn't say QC. Their Q is all over the place. I wouldn't call it tip top, but I did have a bolt that lasted a long time. I was real impressed with that. I got some arrow bolts, what were those ones Jerry shared? Shit. I can't remember. They were like nickel boron coated, which probably doesn't really do much as far as like anything beneficial. But man, he shared a link and somebody was having a closeout or something. I got a couple of them. Roscoe has probably made some like bolts. What I've been told by someone that used to work there is that a whole bunch of different companies did. Like they kind of piecemealed week to week. It could be different. You know, how do you answer it when the only woman watching your live stream says, "But was it rape? Like, it's an inside joke for some of us that were there for that conversation, but it is a difficult question to answer during a live chat. Weirdos. The whole lot of you. Just for watching makes you weirdo. All right. So if I can make it happen, next week we'll get Zach Bush on here and we'll talk about training shit. And I think maybe what we'll do when Zach's on here, since he's back in the game, so to speak, is we'll shit talk training in general. Not like other trainers. I mean, maybe. I mean, you just maybe Rob Pincus or something. But like maybe we'll shit talk the status of the training community. Maybe that would be a good subject. You know, for a couple of guys that are jaded about the direction that it is going and where it currently sits at. Should be a fun time if you guys would be interested in that kind of thing. But you'd have to be like a training guy, not like a gun guy, because like Zach doesn't even carry a SIG yet. So like we can't get him to talk about gear. RJ, did you just write pink fuckus? Yeah, you think that Adam thinks that'd be a good topic. I concur that we could do well there. And Zach and I have to share some signal messages about shit we want to remember to talk about. Well, I usually have this this Google document with things I want to chat about, and like so, it's been a live document for months. I just delete the shit from this live chat and start typing things for the next time. So like when the first time I think of something to talk about for next week, I'll open this document back up, delete the shit from this week and put the first comment in. So I'll just share that with him and we can both just, you know, bullet point some comments we'd like to talk about in the training industry. So Javier is trying to get a discount in a Definitive Training Solutions class by saying Zach shoots that Glock flawlessly. I would like to point out that Zach was the very first person to ever shoot the advanced small dot drill perfectly clean. I now know of at least 5 people who have shot it clean, the advanced version, and some folks who have shot the advanced version clean 8 or 9 times in a row. But he was the first to do it. It's kind of like the, you know, like the 8-minute mile. Once it gets broken, then other people start doing it too. So he shot that thing clean, and then it was, I don't want to say the fucking dam burst because it's still only like half a dozen people. It is, I was impressed when he did it. But it's still a Glock. So, I mean, it's like shooting a single action revolver. I guess if you're still living in the 1800s, that's the gun. And, you know, just like with the Glock, if you're still living in 1997, it's the gun. So, Will, I don't know. I remember you shooting the regular small dot drill. So I don't know if you had shot the advanced version. So the advanced version is, it's still 1-3-5, but it's the top row is 2 hands. The middle row is your masturbatory hand, strong hand, dominant hand, whatever you want to call it. And it's still 3. And then the bottom row is your stranger / weak / non-dominant hand for the 5s. That's tough. Let's not bring Tim into this. I don't know which comment we're referring to that we brought Tim into it, but I'd like to get Tim on a live chat. Wouldn't that be awesome? Somebody would have to show him how to make the phone work so that he could join it. But it would be good. Maybe the next time I'm driving through Tennessee. Oh, that reminds me. here is a task for all of you people in the middle of the East Coast, like somewhere between me and Florida. So I got the dynamic pistol class September something. The last weekend of September in Florida. On my way back north to Pennsylvania, find me a range so I can teach a class the following weekend, the last weekend of September, somewhere in the middle, Tennessee, Kentucky, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so I can get like a couple things on one trip. And I have a reason to stop in Tennessee when I leave Florida and visit with my pals and then still earn some money that weekend before I go back to PA. So make that happen. The 1890s gun reference. Now I am tracking Adam. Well, Will, I'll tell you this. When I see you in October and you come do dynamic pistol in Del Rio, if you stay for the third day, you'll have to shoot the advanced part because it's part of the class. Adam, I knew you'd be in for the Tennessee class. I just need to find somewhere to do it. So I'm looking for people in the middle of the state to help me find a host range. Mr. Bulletin is here. Hello, sir. I have one place to check into. It's in Western Tennessee, south of, 40 that runs, 45, whatever fuck runs across. It's south of that, but I don't know if they're free or open that weekend. But I figured if one of my friends out there, or students or pals had an idea or a line on a range, we'd go with that. But if not, I can give the other place a call and see what I can do. All right. So I got almost 9 o'clock. I brought nothing to drink today. Mike, thanks for commenting on the camera setup. The microphone will be fixed better next week, but we'll see what we can come up with. I might even be able to move this shit around and go back to shooting into the corner for some depth. I could use some extra depth. But it's that time. It's the 9 o'clockers. So I'm going to pop smoke, get out of here. I'm supposed to get a hold of somebody for something. Mark Thompson. I need to get a hold of him about Indianapolis. So there we go. For those of you who punched or came in late, we are doing a giveaway for this Rift Pack from Grey Ghost Gear. If you're on the mailing list, you are entered. If you are signed up for a 2023 class, you have 20 or 25 extra entries. So if you're going to sign up for something and you do it sooner than later, you might get a free backpack out of it. And I'll probably put shit in the backpack too. I don't know what, but there's already patches on the Velcro inside and shit like that. But before I send it off, maybe I'll stuff it full of something cool. And there was that. And I guess I can't think of anything else that we went over. But regardless, it is that time. I'm going to get out of here. You guys get out of here. I will see y'all next week. And if there's things you want to discuss, throw them on the Legio Tremis page and just say, hey, next week, can you tell us who makes the best ear pro or whatever? I just said that because I'm looking over at a set of Compact 2s, sorry, even. Or whatever, who makes the best? I got a bunch of cool shit in this room. So, who makes the best bayonet or shuffle or whatever. And but ask, and we'll see if we can't get that topic added for the me and Zach episode, assuming Zach's cool for next week, which I haven't asked him about yet. So many of things to do on my list. You all take it easy, and I will see you in 7 days. Some of you I'll see shorter than that. Toodles.